This question wasn't posted directly to me. It was in one of the Facebook ToneMaster Pro groups, but needless to say, it caught my eye. Mervyn Futter asked this: "Help needed, please. I am building a preset using the British 800 and just a few pedals. I'm using an IR and getting a good overdriven tone even with my Tele. My idea was to try a parallel path using two British 800s, one set clean and the other overdriven, so I could switch between. There's not enough memory available to do this unless I delete most of my pedals. The British 800 must use a lot of the onboard computing power. Can anyone suggest a workaround, please?" I replied to him and said that he really only needed to use one amp and that he could set up a foot switch to turn up the gain when he wanted to go from clean to driven. But by this time, I was really curious about his original statement that he couldn't use two British 800s with some pedals. I had to try that out. So let's take a look at the Pro Control app. First thing I did was I put together a simple series preset with two British 800s and 7 pedals, which was the maximum number of pedals that I could add. Now, as you can see, I added the compressor, the tube bias tremolo, the boost, the stereo flanger, the stereo chorus, the stereo tape echo, and the small hall reverb. That's a pretty good selection of pedals. Now, it may not seem like a lot of pedals, but Mervyn said that he added just a few pedals. The next thing I did was to put together a preset with a parallel path like Mervyn was trying to do. I put one British 800 amp head with an IR on the top part of the parallel path, and another British 800 amp head with an IR on the bottom part of the path. I was able to add 6 other pedals to this preset: compressor, boost, stereo chorus, stereo flanger, stereo tape echo, and small hall reverb. Again, that's pretty good. That's 6 pedals. My third preset just had the amp heads in the parallel path, both playing through one IR. I was able to add 8 other pedals to this preset. I mean, you can't see them very well, but it's the compressor, the tube bias tremolo, the royal tone, the boost, stereo chorus, stereo flanger, stereo tape echo, and small hall reverb. 8 pedals. So now I'm curious as to which pedals Mervyn was trying to use, because 8 pedals is way more than just a few. Later in this thread, Mervyn commented that he couldn't get the British 800 clean enough. Now wait a second, with a Telecaster? I had to test this out. So I set the top British 800 to have 0 gain, and the master is turned up full tilt. I also set up the foot switch so that when it went to the clean amp, it also turns on the boost pedal with level turned up to plus 3 dB. One thing to remember when using a parallel path like this, even if you're bypassing the dirty amp, you're still getting a direct signal going from here, going through here, up here, and out here. So in this case, the clean setting is the clean amp and the direct signal at the same time. With my Telecaster, it actually sounds pretty good. Then it was time to set up the dirty British 800. I turned the gain and master both to 8. I also set the input splitter to turn down level A, which is the signal going to the top path. Otherwise, you'd be getting a direct signal with the dirty signal. And for this preset, we don't want any direct signal getting through when we're using the dirty setting. So I have one foot switch controlling which amp I'm using. I named it Roar. When the LED is dim, it's on the clean setting. Press the foot switch and the LED turns bright red, letting you know that the dirty amp is now engaged. Now, I could have set up foot switches for the other effects, but this was mostly a test to see if I could get 2 British 800s and some pedals to work. And while I don't know if it would work for Mervyn, I know that this preset works just fine with my Telecaster. Now, I'll go ahead and demo this preset, and you can let me know if I was successful or not. Now, right now, the Roar foot switch is off. It's set on to dim. You can see the dim color here. When we take a look at the preset, this is what's going on. Signal coming in, hitting the input splitter. Both level A and level B are turned up. So that means signal is going through here and through here into an IR, into the boost pedal, into the tape echo, into the small hall reverb, and it sounds like this. Now let's turn on roar. And when we look at the preset, input splitter, level A is turned down. Level B is turned up. So that means signal will be coming in here and only going through this amp, up into the IR, to the tape echo, and the small hall reverb. And it sounds like this. Turn it off and we're back to this. I hope that I did not come across as making fun of Mervin, because that was absolutely not my intention. I don't know what his setup is like, if he's using the most recent firmware, and most importantly, what other effects was he trying to use with the two British 800s. So Mervin, if you're interested, drop me a line here, and we'll see what we can do. And if you're still here, thank you so much for stopping by and sticking around. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, drop me a line right down here, and I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Now, next Wednesday, I will have all new content on the Tone Master Pro, and it's going to include some goodies. Now, you don't want to miss that, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. All right, guys, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll be talking with you next week.